There is a shift now from just doing things with your hands and looking at gels and test tubes and things like that to being more in front of the computer, analyzing data that comes from machines, and then trying to wrangle with large files. This reflects kind of where we are in history of science. This is the future of biology. In the future, biologists, they have to be computer people, all of them. If nobody is there to help this intermediate generation, they're not going to get the science done that they want to. My name is Andy Pohl, and I'm a postdoctoral fellow at Morgridge Institute for Research. I function as a research computing facilitator. Using my background as a biologist and computer scientist, I seek to help researchers elevate their use of computers. The postdoc is set up as a collaboration between the Morgridge Institute and Waisman Center of UW-Madison, and my mentors are Maron Livney, a computer scientist and Morgridge Institute CTO, and Albie Messing, the director of Waisman Center.
There are more and more domains that are doing what is called high throughput. Some people call it big data, but we prefer to look at it as high throughput. So we have more researchers that want to do high throughput, and those who are doing high throughput want to do it at higher rates.
The idea that Maron was exploring was to use a position like what Andy's filling now as a way to introduce the Waisman community to what was really possible with high throughput computing. And they could do things that really they hadn't even imagined before. So I think that's really the goal of this whole thing. So I know there are a couple of labs that have already, had sort of tangible things come out of it, like in brain imaging and Brittany Travers, for example.
So my lab looks at motor ability in people with autism spectrum disorders. And so what I'm really interested in seeing is how motor ability affects the daily lives of people with autism. And right now we are doing a project that is looking at whether or not balance training is actually able to change the brain in people with autism. We collect tons of data. So it's a video game balance training study, and there's a Kinect camera that is able to track the 16 different joint positions of their body every 4 milliseconds. We get huge data files for them standing in a particular posture, like let's say a yoga tree pose. That would be a data file with maybe 35,000 points. They do that, 15 times during one session, times 18 across, the 3 sessions for 6 weeks. What I decided I really needed to make sense of my data was to be able to visualize it in an interactive way. That was the project that Andy really helped us with. He really helped form the trajectory that my lab can take with this type of data that we're collecting.
My background is useful because I was really brought up in computer science. I went from there to a master's in bioinformatics to a PhD in biomedicine. I've been in the shoes of a lot of the people I help. I know how they approach problems and how strong the desire is to get past the computational nonsense and know the actual result.
Our motto is that we are not going to fish for you, we are going to teach you how to fish. We want to empower the researchers to use computing to change, to advance, to transform their research.
I directly help them gain skills they need to cope with this data, and I do it one problem at a time.